Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm testing here. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna record it and then release it onto YouTube from StreamYard. What I'm gonna do um, today, I work in public transportation, and one of our Bigfoot buddies that rode with me, he passed away last night. So I got to thinking, um, you know, what if something happens to me tomorrow? And there's a lot of things you can do to prepare and all that. But there's some things that I would like to get out there. Um, and this is a good way with a recording on my YouTube channel. I wrote a story. I'll tell you the story behind it. I wrote a story in 2004. Writing the story is a little. I wrote it, but the idea came from somewhere that I don't know where it came from. And what's funny is I've always been a bigger guy, and I decided to try yoga. You heard that right, yoga. And I was working out and running and stuff, and I um, ran into a yoga teacher I went to school with, and she said you should try this. It'd be great for you. So anyway, at the end of the first session, she's got the music playing and the burning sage or whatever it is, telling us to relax, and she says clear your mind, and I'm thinking you don't know what you're saying. I'm like an 8 track jumping from track to track, squirrel. I get, y'all y'all see the shows. I get distracted easily. And so I said, well, I'm gonna give it a try. So I'm listening to this music, breathing like she's telling me to, and all of a sudden my mind goes just dark, like a movie screen that haven't, like a theater with no light, just black. And the reason I say that is because what happens next in like 2 seconds, it's like this movie starts playing in my head, and it was a story. And I got home as quick as I could. I was about 5 miles away, and I started writing this down. When I got finished, okay, I got that out. And that's the way I do things. And I reread it. And when I reread it, expecting to edit the story, there was nothing to change. And this is on my phone, so I'm gonna have trouble seeing it probably. But it was one of the most perfect things I ever wrote because I didn't have to edit it, and I held it back for a while. Something told me one day to show it to this lady. She was having some troubles. I showed it to her. She came back. She was crying. She said, "I was in a mental institution for 2 months." And I said, "No, I didn't know that." She's recently. I just got back. She was one of my neighbors. She said they spent 2 months of therapy, and that story is what I needed to hear. And I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what?" So I would show it to people, depending on their age, depending on what they've been through, is what they got out of it. Like what does that mean to you? And always something different. And so anyway, I've got it copyrighted. I wrote it in 2004. 2008, I decided to copyright it officially. It's in the Library of Congress or whatever. I haven't done anything with it. Don't have the money. Somebody was going to try to help me one time with a little inspirational book, but the art, the illustrations was going to cost a lot. Now with AI, maybe it would be possible, but I don't know how to do all that. So I decided today, something was telling me to share this story with you guys. Whoever watches this 15 years down the road, um, sorry, I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to read it to you, and it's perfect. If I say something stupid, it's me misreading it. So I'm going to blow it up here. So I'm going to read it through. Hopefully, you'll get something out of it. And maybe it's just be entertaining. That's okay. If not, y'all critique it. Y'all leave comments for me, okay? And thank you for making it through these first 4 minutes here. And I'll try to read this. Thunder gently rolled through the valley, and lightning briefly showed the landscape. Then, as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. An old majestic oak, standing guard over an enormous valley, awakened as the clouds crept slowly away, revealing the first light of the day. The oak stretched his limbs, and he smiled and sighed. He had been there many years, but never tired of the view each morning light had offered him. As he scanned the valley ahead, his attention was drawn to his largest limb, there appeared a tiny raindrop. Well, hello, my little friend, said the oak. Hello, sir, answered the raindrop. I hope you don't mind me sitting here for a bit. I was enjoying the view, this awesome view you have been given. No, the oak replied. You're welcome to stay as long as you wish. Well, I can't stay long. I have many important things to do, but I like to enjoy the quiet moments like this when I can, said the raindrop. Busy, huh? Chuckled the oak. And just what do you do, little one? Oh, I take part in many important things, said the raindrop. In fact, without me and my brothers and sisters, things would be a lot different all over this world. How so? Asked the oak. Well, by myself, I'm not very strong, replied the raindrop. But with enough of us working together, we can do some amazing things. I've been part of some powerful rivers that cut beautiful canyons hundreds of miles long. I've taken part in nourishing life from the smallest thing on earth to the largest. In all my travels, I've seen great cities and helped build them. My life cycle continues and I look forward to every journey. But like I said, I take time to enjoy the view, and the view you have before you is magnificent. The raindrop looked back at the oak and he noticed his branches were sagging slightly, and there was a hint of sadness in his voice when he spoke. I'm honored to meet such an important friend, the oak said. The raindrop, confused by the oak's tone of voice and sad stature, asked, What is wrong, sir? Have I in some way made you sad? The oak took a deep breath and sighed. Well, when I woke this morning, I was happy, but listen to all the amazing things you've done. I realized how uneventful my life has been. All I do is stand on this hill and have existed for centuries, but contributing without contributing much to this world. It was the raindrop's turn to chuckle. Sir, we're all important to the world. We all have a reason for being, he told the oak. I know that you're trying to make me feel better, little one, but I can't think of one great thing I've been a part of, said the oak. The raindrop looked at the tree and thought for a moment. Then he asked, How long have you been here? The oak replied, I'm not exactly sure, but my first memory is from about 200 years ago when a man and his family came to the valley and they began to clear the woods I overlooked. They cleared fields to grow food and used wood to build shelters for their animals and also burned wood so they could survive the winter. Okay, the raindrop said confidently. Where did the woods come from that they used for all this? Well, the woods were my offspring from over the years, the oak replied. The oak began to smile as he realized the point the raindrop was making. How many birds have built nests in your branches and raised families there? Asked the raindrop. Oh, many, said the oak. You see, the little raindrop explained, you have touched and helped many things. The families on the farms raised children that grew up and went forth to create and affect the world they live in. You were part of that process. You see, we all matter and we're all connected, even though we may not realize it. We're important to each other. Everything happens for a reason, just like our meeting today was not by chance. The raindrop paused for a moment, then continued. My job for today is to help create life, but I can't do it alone. I need your shade and the light from the sun and the nutrients in the ground left behind by the trees that were here before you. There's a tiny seed just below the dirt, and I'm going to fall upon it. It is a seed that will grow into a vine that will flourish. It will use you to spread, and every morning when you see it, I want you to remember this morning, we will forever be connected. The raindrop asked one last question. Have you ever seen what is behind you? No, I have not, the oak replied. That is the only thing in my life I always wanted to do, but accepted the fact that I couldn't. Not by yourself, said the raindrop. What do you mean? Asked the oak. If you look at me, look deep inside me, and you will see a part of you in me, said the raindrop. Then look past that, and the things will be clearer to you. The oak stared into the little raindrop and saw behind him a vast forest full of life. Little raindrops fell from other trees and landed onto the forest floor, taking part in the life cycle. And just beyond the forest was a great river snaking through the hills, creating and changing things in its path. Alongside of the river was a great city. It was beautiful. The oak understood now the things that he had been told. Thank you, little one, the oak said quietly. Oh, you're welcome, said the raindrop to his new friend. Thank you for letting me rest here and reflect. I have to go now, but I will always remember your kindness. A breeze picked up and slightly pushed the raindrop off the branch, and he fell quickly to the ground. As the raindrop disappeared, the oak did not feel sad. He was happy because he knew they would forever be connected. Who would have thought something so small could be so wise and important in his own way? the oak asked him himself. The oak whispered to the wind, "Thank you, my little friend. Thank you." So when I read that, after finishing it, writing it, I'm like, who the hell wrote that? Because I feel like it was given to me for several different reasons, and it's helped people. And I just didn't want it to be lost, if something happened. So, y'all, thank you for listening. We'll make this short. I've got shows coming up. Got some people in the works that I think y'all are going to like. They do real research with Bigfoot in different parts of the country, and we're here to learn, and hopefully we're here. We can get people to teach us, and maybe we can teach them a little bit also, because as you know, some of us, some of you, um, live with these things, Bigfoot and other things, and maybe some comment or a question in the chat will point them in the right direction. So y'all have a great weekend. You never know, I could be back doing something, but I thank you for listening. And this is test here, recording and then releasing later. I'm gonna release it here in about 5 minutes, I think. So thank y'all very much. See you later.